any concerns or comments that he may raise during this conversation. Again, so a number of months ago, the town of Shandaken convened the Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative as directed under an executive order from the New York State Governor Cuomo. We are mandated to adopt this prior to April 1st, 2021, and send it to the New York State Division of Budget in order for us to receive proper funding for future grant opportunities and such for the police department and justice courts. So with that, we formed a collaborative, and I'm very thankful, and all the members of the town board are thankful for the service of the members of the collaborative who are volunteered their time and effort to put this plan together. It took a lot of hard work and a lot of time, and I know a lot of patience, and I want to thank Councilman Van Blarkum for stepping up and really being a core part of this initiative to get this done. And I think there's some really good things that came out of it and really positive feedback that we got as a community. And certainly look forward to this review of the plan as written, and look forward to any comments or any amendments we may need to make or somebody may feel we need to make in order to address improving our community relations between the police department and the community itself. We think we have a strong relationship as it stands, but there's always room for improvement. And I think that this initiative is really setting a course for some initiatives that we could look forward to in other departments to help get people to understand better how the town works and how government works. We really need to get people more involved. We did have an influx of new citizens over the past couple of years, whether it be through attrition or whatever, or social mandates, who knows, COVID-19, who knows. There's a lot of people that have been moving up here, and we've noticed it. And we want to welcome you and welcome you to our community and really show that we're welcome to having you be a part of it and building all our departments together and working as a town. So with that, I will turn it over to Liz Potter, if you want to open it up, Liz, with any comments about the wonderful work you guys did, and where we go from here.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm going to say is two things. This is a start, and it feels like the start of something. That's kind of the feeling that we have, and at the end of this, that we need to keep kind of the eye on, the community meeting together, and we hope to continue getting together maybe quarterly. And I think that, we were able to get at some things, but in the amount of time that we had, it felt like, there wasn't enough time to quite get to everything. So it's kind of the start of a process rather than something being done. To me, the best part of this plan is that it's coming from the feedback that we got from the community, through the poll, through comments, anonymous comments, and in our public Zoom session. But it has to be said, we had about 400 responses that Crystal Wade, who's on this call, collated and then analyzed statistically. But it has to be said, it has a giant asterisk, which is we felt like in the time that we had, we couldn't do outreach to get to really important parts of our community. One example being sort of marginalized people may not speak English, may not be documented. They're part of the community too, and we couldn't reach them. So that's all I have to say, and I hope that Chad says a little something from his perspective, because it's who is our partner in this, who's part of the commission, and it's he that kind of ultimately has to and has the discretion to implement this.
Thanks, Liz. And first of all, thanks to everybody on the committee. You guys have been great, and I couldn't have done it without you and your help. And I just just want to thank everybody. Crystal did an amazing job. We never ever thought we were going to get over 400 responses on our survey, but we did. And thankfully for us, they were all, for the most part, the majority were all positive. So that was good. Like I said right from the beginning of this whole process, it's something that we have to do. It's mandated by the state. We rely on grant funding, so there was no question that we had to do this. It was just I looked at it as, hey, it's good feedback for me as a department head and the police chief to say, hey, what kind of job am I doing and how am I going to improve going forward? So that's the way we kind of looked at it, and we got a lot of great comments, a lot of great suggestions. We got some pretty good feedback about the black cars, and then we got some people that don't like the black police cars. So we can certainly talk about that. Obviously, you guys know I went to black police cars because I saved $30,000 for these cars. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really like I took what they had on the lot type of thing. It wasn't. There was no intention there. A couple other things that came and are on this report. You know, you're right. As the police chief, you know, I want to implement them. And like Liz said, I think this is an ongoing dialogue. And one of the things that we talked about is maybe meeting on a quarterly basis, and I think that's important. But not only this group, but for any future residents that come into the town and want to be a part of it, just to maintain a dialogue and just to obviously keep me on my toes. So that's it. If there's any questions about the report, we'll certainly answer them. Chuck's here. He had a big part of it as well. And now we can open it up to public comment if anybody has any. If anybody wants to call in to.
Yep, if they want, they can call. I guess sadly, we don't have live television broadcast due to technical difficulties with Spectrum. So if you are capable of watching this somehow or seeing this somehow, you may call in. Again, we've had it open for comments and told people to submit comments prior to this for the previous 2 weeks, if not more. It was on the town website for more than a month now at this point. And if you have any comments and you wish to call in, feel free to call 688-716
5004.
688-5004, and we'll listen to comments.
It'll be on YouTube tomorrow. And nobody emailed, to be honest, nobody emailed or called to ask us to call them, like the last meeting we did.
So I will add one comment that I brought up with Kevin in reading through the document. There was a clause in there that just concerned me a little bit. Not concerned, I think it's verbiage. There was a phrase in there, and it wasn't a comment, it was a phrase in a paragraph that stated essentially the idea that people of color may be fearful of coming to Shandaken. Now, I don't know what data you have to say that people of color are fearful to come to Shandaken, or whether you're just going on social understand. I mean, from my understanding, it's really a social thing that's going on, and maybe there is a predetermined bias that's felt by people of color to move to rural areas, but specifically to say that people of color are fearful of moving to Shandaken because of racial bias in the police. I mean, that's the way you kind of read it. I just want to know if that language could be clarified a little bit better as to why that was put in there, and maybe if there's a way we could just clean it up, if there is a way to clean it up, or if you want to shoot with that language.
Crystal, do you want to say something? Or should I?
Yeah, thank you, Rob. I don't have the comment in front of me. I believe it was more of a rhetorical question from someone in the public hearing who was saying that that person was hesitant about inviting their friends who are people of color because they were uncertain if we do have an issue with racial bias in policing. That was the concern expressed. I don't know if that helps clarify. But if we need to amend the verbiage so that that's more clear, that was the concern. I think it
Kyle can't hear too much. Do you have his
Okay,
phone?
yeah, I have it, it's on.
He can't hear you. He can hear you, but nobody else.
Okay.
All right.
I'm in the same room with everybody else, nobody else is talking, that's why you can't hear anybody else. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, I think, I get what you're saying, I absolutely understand that. Like, they were unsure of the situation, basically is what you're saying. But I think there's a better way to state that. The way the statement's made, it sounds like people of color are fearful of coming to Shandaken specifically. Like, and I get it, like, believe me, I understand it. It's a societal thing, though, really about people of color moving to rural areas in that they have this predetermined bias that they think they're moving into. You know what I'm saying? It's not Shandaken specific. It's a societal thing. So that's a conversation that can take place in Hunter. It's a conversation that can take place in Hardenburg, in Woodstock. So anyway, if you guys are satisfied with the language, I'm okay with it. I understand where it came from. I get that. I just think a second look at that second.
This is Liz, I don't think that the commission was putting forward that statement. It was citing something that was found in public comment. Was that not clear? Because that should be clear.
Rob's looking through the paperwork. I don't know if you can see him off camera.
Oh, no, they're not on.
No, it's fine.
No,
If
it's
anybody else has comments or questions.
Maybe just repeat the number again if anybody wants to call in.
688-5004.
But nobody can hear.
Have to be on the Zoom call.
Yeah, we're not on, we're not on live feed. The cable's out for Spectrum.
And you didn't get any email comments, right, Joyce? Or anybody that wanted us to call them?
We didn't get any, and hey! Town hall? They hung up. Okay, somebody just messing with us.
Your car insurance?
Right. Alright.
Extend
Well,
your.
Lisa, what do we do about that car insurance robocall?
Block them.
Every single day.
Why don't you say, Joe, if anybody watching it, why don't you please call us so that
They can't watch it.
Well, it might be going out there.
Oh, okay. Let me ask Phil. Let me ask Phil.
Do you guys as town board members have any questions?
No, it's not on, Kara says it's not on.
The only comment, if I had a comment to give, would be that next time we mail out a survey, so more people
Kara says no, there's no signal.
connected.
Yeah, we talked about that, and, we got 400 responses, which is probably quadruple any other survey that's ever been done in this town.
It's a good
That
response.
was a good response. We talked about it, and we thought that by, having it on the town webpage and blasting it out via email and the Facebook page,
The alert
all
system.
social media outlets via the town, that we could hit the majority of the people, and then, if you wanted a paper copy, like we had ways to give you paper copies. Sheila had them at the store, on his counter, just had them at the library, and a couple other places throughout town, and a couple of post offices.
I know because of COVID, it kept a lot of people
Yeah.
away from getting those paper copies. And I'm just talking about people who aren't as computer literate as, some of us are.
If I may.
No, I get it, and it came down to a cost thing too.
Yeah,
How we were
of course,
gonna
of
pay for it.
course.
But Peter,
I
what
was
we did,
willing to absorb it, but as a committee, it's a receiver, so.
what we did with the alert system, the senior citizens got call us to get one if they needed it too.
Sounds good.
So we saved the money, and to be honest, in 2012, when we sent out the first survey for emergencies,
Yeah,
we got like, what, 5-6% back? And that was all mail in, and from the post office, and so I think this is a much more lucrative way to reach people. And while the younger people do it for their old folks that live here, don't go online, so, you know, it did make quite a difference.
You know, for what it's worth, 400 responses is awesome, but it's
Oh, yeah.
still not even a 10% increase in
I
the last
answered that.
survey.
Yeah, so I found, the comment, Crystal, and it is regarding the public listening session in this assembly. So, yeah, the question we need to be asking ourselves, why more people of color don't feel safe moving here, and is it safe for Friends hosting people of color to visit? Okay, I get that. That's just a question that we need to be asking ourselves, and, you know, again, I think it's a societal thing, but certainly we can work to try to improve that as best we can. But it's not, I thought it was more of a statement again. I read through the document. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I would just add now that I'm looking at the comment, I did pull it up, I'm looking at it out of context. I do see what you're saying, it's not clear in how the comment was presented that, that was the context for it. So, you know, I do think that's something that we could further clarify if the board wants to.
And I don't know that that comment was directed at the police. That might have been directed at the community.
Right.
Right, exactly.
I think I was that.
Yeah.
The community, yeah.
Are you hearing that? Kyle, can you hear us?
I just heard that. I can barely hear you.
Is nobody else projecting this place? What? Who said what now?
That was Liz or somebody, I don't know.
Okay.
On the Zoom.
Joyce, do we have any questions, comments?
There were no questions or comments, there's no emails, no Facebook messages, nothing.
Nothing. No Instagrams.
I don't do it.
Nothing.
No, and I just want to say that, like
No
I said,
TikToks.
No Twitter?
one of the things that we did come out of this committee is that, you know, maybe we can meet quarterly going forward. And, you know, there's some timeline stuff, some, you know, some things that we can implement, blah, 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 blah. So, like Liz said right in the beginning, it's an ongoing dialogue, and I think we just keep it open. And coffee with a cop, as long as Wendy is baking her baked goods, and we're good. And it's a work in progress. So.
Right. Very good. Everybody satisfied? I think we're done. With that, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We move on to our regular town board meeting.
Do you guys want to stick around for the town board meeting?
No, say no. I'm
You
gonna
can
tell
turn
her
the
say
camera
no.
around.
Say no. I told her, say no.
See, we're talking about involvement. You want to walk away now, right? All right.
I just,
Thank you, guys.
okay.
Thank you.
I mean, I'll leave you guys on if you want to stick around.
You turn it around and just.
Well, are they gonna approve the,
Wow, I actually get
plan,
to
or-
sit
Yeah, that's what
here.
we're moving to.
I know, I put a sign for it. I'm a big girl.
What are they-
Yeah, there's no issues with the town board.
Great, it's in there.
Okay, bye, guys.
So,
Go ahead. Yeah.
Chad, are you staying during the meeting?
Yes.
So, I guess it sounds like that there's gonna be maybe a vote with, on the document with that one clarification made by Crystal? Is that?
Just unplug them.
Yeah.
Just unplug it.
I think just leave it, we're good. Let's not change it.
I think it's fine. It's in the comment section.
Yeah.
Okay, did they vote to approve it?
We're
Well,
going
They
to.
have to call a new meeting to order.
If you stick around, you'll find out.
You can stick around if you want.
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay. We're good on that.
And gossip.
All right, so then I'll leave then.
Okay,
Bye, guys.
thanks, Chad. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Thank you very much.
Somebody want to read the building and zoning,
What's that?
building and zoning report when it comes up?
Why is mine so loud?
You got the ambulance stuff?
Yeah, I got.
Candy leaving, you want to do your report? I didn't get your report
No,
again.
you're good.
So take
I
us.
didn't get last month
10 minutes. I'd like to call to order the Shandaken Town Board meeting for March of 2021. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job, Kyle.
You got a little,
You caught up, Kyle. That was good.
little pause going on there.
Where is it?
Here.
Okay. Board member Steen?
Here.
Board member Steen?
He said it.
He said here.
Board member Storms?
Here.
Board member Van Blarken?
Here.
Supervisor Stanley?
Here. Entertain a motion for the previous town board meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Supervisors financial report, March of 2021. Revenues, rental sell, $1,339.76. Tax warrant, real property, $1,145,470. Zoning, $30. Ambulance fees, $8,467.87. Town clerk fees, Easy Pass, $75. Dog license, $73.50. Building fees, $3,425.40. Fines and forfeitures, $9,410. Police fees, $30. Planning, $30. Highway revenue, $1,019,940. Vital statistics, $50, for a total of $2,188,341.53. For communications, March 2021. Tonight we held a public hearing on the Town of Shandaken Police Reform and Reinvention Plan. We would like to thank the members of the collaborative committee that helped create the plan. This plan is required to be adopted and submitted to New York State Division of Budget by April 1st, 2021. We look forward to working to improve many of our services and hope this plan will help us continue to improve interactions between the community and our police department personnel. Shandaken Septic District, we have no applicants for the position of Shandaken Septic Maintenance District Superintendent. That's a lot of words. The position is part-time and is still open. Please contact the town supervisor's office if you're interested. COVID-19 safety plan. Under Governor Cuomo's executive order issued in January of 2021, all municipalities within New York State are required to submit a town employee COVID-19 health safety plan outlining measures to protect the safety and health of the employees and residents. We have a draft plan tonight that has been dispersed to each department for comments or amendments. Once finalized and ratified by the town's collective bargaining units, highway, police, and ambulance, the town board must adopt a final employee safety plan by April of 2021. Lastly, the hydropower proposal. Last week, hold on, Kyle. Hydropower proposal. Last week, many of us were surprised by a notice being circulated from Ulster County, as they were notified of a private energy firm based in California had submitted a proposal for a feasibility study to investigate potential for a hydroelectric facility. The facility itself is proposed for a location downstream of the Ashokan Reservoir and would utilize water flowing through the Esopus Creek. Additional to the main facility, they are also proposing some additional reservoirs for water storage capacity, one or all of which may be located within the town of Shandaken. According to exhibits in the documents submitted by Premium Energy Holdings LLC, one reservoir is proposed for an area in Chichester and another in Woodland Valley and another in Olive with a portion in Shandaken along Moon Hall Road. First, this application came as a surprise to everyone in the local planning community. Ulster County, New York State DEC, New York City DEP, nor any other local municipalities were ever contacted prior to the release of a notice from the Federal Agency Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, asking for public comments to be submitted regarding a feasibility study proposal. The town nor any of its partners are supportive of this proposal. In reviewing the documents, they are shoddy and full of wrong data. The locations for the specific facilities or reservoirs are not clearly identified. Specifically, using topographical data and information from their own data points, a reservoir to the depth and crest height proposed for the Stony Clove would have to be located well into the town of Hunter, according to the data, but their visual in Exhibit 3 clearly shows it to be located somewhere in Chichester in the vicinity of Silver Hollow Road. Ground elevations in the Stony Creek in Chichester do not meet the parameters they set forth. There are other discrepancies throughout the document. Rest assured, the town will be submitting comment even though we were left off as an interested party, yet another issue. Public comments on this application are due by mid-April. The town will be submitting its own comments to the proposal, but would welcome any members of the community to submit comments as well. We will post the information regarding submitting comments to FERC, the Energy Council that you have to submit to. Ultimately, I do not feel this proposal is going anywhere, and I feel strongly that many of our partners throughout the region are in agreement, and we will be addressing this with the same fervor.
So that's April, you say? Not-
April, I had March, it's 60 days from the approval of their proposal, which I believe was February 19th, so it's 60 days.
Find the link.
I will get everything to you,
We'll share
yes.
it.
Our regular next meeting is scheduled for Monday, April 5th at 7 PM. With that, we'll move on to committee reports, unless somebody else has other comments, communications. Nothing? Okay. Ambulance, Town of Shandaken calls received 39, 2 Town of Middletown, 1 Town of Lexington mutual aid given, no mutual aid received. February continued to be a busy month despite the fact that calls at the mountain decreased a total of 6. Not surprisingly, calls to the mountain decreased with increased snowfall as better mountain conditions directly correlate to less serious injuries sustained while skiing and snowboarding. Where does he come up with this stuff? I don't know. The skiers up here go, what? As ski center fast responses were not the only times our responders found themselves helping someone in the mountain this past month. Please keep in mind that despite being beautiful and an incredible recreational playground, our wilderness can be downright deadly if proper preparation and precautions are not neglected while enjoying it. Bottom line, if you aren't an experienced hiker with proper gear and plenty of daylight, stick to the rail trail and stay off the high peaks. The mountain rescue during the most optimal conditions is a resource-heavy, high-risk operation. It ties up precious resources that we are already spread thin within our small town. If an emergency happens, we will always be there, but prevention is a key takeaway here. COVID update. As of 2/28, there were 1,642 active cases of COVID in Ulster County, with 13 active cases in the town of Shandaken. Total cumulative cases in the town have reached 80, with 67 individuals that have recovered, and we will still thankfully have had no fatalities. Total cumulative cases in the county have reached 10,895, with 232 fatalities. 9,021 cases have successfully recovered. We continue to be extremely lucky in regards to our proximate and direct employee contacts and continue to have sufficient PPE for the foreseeable future. For questions related to receiving the COVID-19 vaccine, please visit the Ulster County COVID-19 Vaccination Resource Center and he gives a website. We'll post that, of course. On that site, you can find locations of state vaccination sites, local providers that can administer the vaccine, vaccination facts, and eligibility link, as well as link to sign up for dates, updates, and to pre-register for an appointment through the county once vaccines are available. If you need help with online access, please call the Ulster County Recovery Service Center at 845-443-8888. Stay safe out there, Chief Muller-Lally. He's so dramatic when he writes. He's so dramatic. Oh. Building and zoning.
Building, zoning, planning monthly report, February. 9 building permits, 3 floodplain permits, 8 building inspections, 2 certificates of occupancy, 12 certificates of compliance, 1 violation. Income, $3,881.
Museum? Or police? No police?
Nope, Phoenicia Water. We did have a break earlier in February. That break was found to be ultimately at the Phoenicia Playhouse. They suffered some severe damage at the Playhouse. They're going to be
Oh, really?
looking for some, the second floor froze up, and that's where the leak was coming from. It was running in their second floor for quite some time. Froze up their whole electrical booth. Yeah, it's not good. So that's Phoenicia Water, but that was resolved. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't have any other major breaks for the rest of the winter.
There was a break on Route 28, wasn't there?
There was 2 of them.
2? Okay.
Pine Hill Water, nothing to report. Museum?
Shandaken Historical Museum report for February 2021. The museum continues to operate while following New York State guidelines during the pandemic. We are open by appointment only and have received 16 visitors this month. However, we continue to post on the 2 separate Facebook groups, and it reaches many more people. It's a little overwhelming with all the questions and responses we are getting. The OCS yearbook collection has grown. They are popular on Facebook as well as our history and historic sites. We have been receiving more historical documents through the mail and photos. Most recently received pre-canceled stamps from Pine Hill courtesy of Ron Singer. We hope the quarantine protocols will soon be a part of history as well. Stay well, Kathleen Myers, Director.
Thank you. Recreation, nothing to report.
Nothing this month, yeah.
Nothing this month. I will note that we are hoping that they come to a close with the bridge project in Mount Tremper. They're supposed to reopen that new bridge, hopefully swing everything over by June.
Wow.
With that, the demolition will start of the old bridge. They should have that down by October, November of this year, and we have a parcel of land there. We've asked before, and I'll ask again, that if there's anybody within the community who would like to help develop a plan for a possible park at that intersection where the cabin place used to be, we're certainly looking for input from local community members within that community and see what they would like, and also to coordinate with the recreation committee on what assets we could use or utilize within the town for recreational purposes, one for economic benefits and as well for the well-being of our children. So
How big is that parcel that's available?
I don't know the exact dimensions, but it's large, it's sizable.
How many?
10 acres?
Is it? No.
No, that would be
no,
a
it's not 10.
lot bigger
The
than it.
usable area is not.
It's about
Yeah.
3 acres, I
Yeah,
think.
something like that.
Yeah. But that's great.
Yeah, it's that whole corner, it's that whole corner stretch, so. As I said before, each member of the town board, you have a copy of the COVID-19 safety plan for employees. Please review that. It was given to the departments. Each one of the departments is gonna make comment on it. They have to submit it and ratify it back to us, and then we can approve next month. It's simple, similar to the protocols we've been following, just making it official and more stringent. Hopefully it gets relieved soon. What else was there? I think that was it. Joyce, did we have anything else?
After the police survey, we're going to send out a Shandaken emergency survey, and it'll be posted everywhere and mailed out to the seniors. So we do have that mailing list, so we're going to send those out.
Okay.
So they'll be posted all over, and if everybody would share it, that'd be cool.
And lastly, again, it's rearing its ugly head, folks. I hate to say it, but the short-term rental issue is rearing its head with the fire departments again. They're having some issues here and there. And again, they're not major issues, it's just things that need to be addressed, and we have to get them properly addressed. Where they have ordinances, they're really dealing with it well, and it's coordinated, and people are working within the guidelines, and that's all we're asking. So we as a board really need to sit down and go through those comments that came from that committee and start hammering something together.
The sooner the better.
Yeah, because it's
We set up a working meeting.
COVID-19 just like blew it up.
Why don't we set it up today?
So, well,
Let's not for
review.
today.
Yeah, let's review, and then we'll set up a meeting sometime during the month or during April at some point. We'll see what we can get going.
Speaking of COVID blowing up things, when we were making strides kinda on the cell towers, I found the contact for AT&T. Has anybody talked to AT&T?
We've talked to AT&T. AT&T is on the tower we own. That's
I
the
know.
only thing we can control.
But there's a new
AT&T is
woman
already there.
in charge of
We
it, and
can't
all.
force them to go to another private property. Again, I've sent an email to the Phoenicia Business Association, been in contact. There's nothing on our contract that restricts anybody else from joining that tower. We've reached out to private firms. They just do not respond. We've asked the tower company to reach out to other firms. They say they're not getting a response. Verizon has come on its own independently into the community, and I know they went around to businesses a couple of years ago and said, can we look at this option? And they tried that option, and that didn't work. They came to me, and I brought them to 2 different private parcels, and I'm not gonna say who those people were, because I don't want them land-based, and if they chose not to go with that tower company, or for whatever reason, that's them. I'm not gonna get them with a bullseye on their back with everybody coming after them.
Right.
There are locations within this town, and we know this from years ago. Chuck remembers this explicitly when the towers were first going up and the telecommunications law came in, and we had this whole thing about the build-out plan. And there's certain locations that absolutely work for these tower companies, and we know where they are. It's just, if the people don't have the land, or they don't want to work with them, or it's not a good deal, and they don't feel it's a good deal, there's nothing we can do.
Is there any town land we can use?
We don't own anything past here, other than
Yeah.
Phoenicia Water
Or
District.
Mount Tremper.
I mean,
but
we
that's
talked to
too close.
Verizon about the water tower, we've talked to them about multiple options.
Yeah.
You
So,
can't even get emergency service towers. I mean, it's
yeah,
Oh, my God. Well, how do your radios work?
terrible.
I thought they were looking into, I talked to somebody from Verizon, they were looking into doing micro locations.
Yep.
You need power.
All over.
they talked about that, and then that just went, whoop, and it disappeared, like,
See, if they do that on 28 with
That was
the towers,
2 years
then
ago
they do the
almost.
micros into the hollow.
Right,
But
I
when the
mean-
electric goes out, those micro units go out.
Oh, well,
I
it'd
mean,
be,
they'd have some,
yeah.
yeah, so you have to have a backup generator to go with the unit.
so that's why we need actual cell towers along 28.
Yep.
And then just lastly, again, we have a resolution tonight for a flood analysis. We've done this in Phoenicia and Mount Tremper. We've done it in Shandaken, Alabin. You can see that the LFA in Mount Tremper, Phoenicia is what led to the project down in Mount Tremper with the Route 28 bridge and the realignment of Route 212. There are other projects in there, and I think the Phoenicia project is going to come to a head. Probably this year, we're going to start looking toward grant funding to try to get that Riverwalk floodplain benching project going in Phoenicia, which would help reduce flood elevations on Main Street for a number of businesses, as well as a number of residents back further off of Main Street. And good news regarding flooding, I guess if there's good news regarding flooding, we did get an assessment on our application to the community rating system. And it looks like coming this October, if you have national flood insurance through the NFIP program, and generally if you've got a federally backed mortgage, that's the flood insurance you've got, you'll see a 10% reduction in your insurance rates this fall. So hopefully that helps. It's a little bit of work that we had to do, but we're going to keep the record straight and do what we can to try to keep those numbers down as they continue to climb.
What insurance company? Any insurance
It's-
company or just that one?
It's called the
national-
National Flood Insurance Program. It's through FEMA.
Okay.
That's generally what most people have. With that, we'll move on to public comments on resolutions.
We don't have no live audience. Unless they have some.
No public here?
You? Well, we have.
Motions? Did we say we were going to do a special meeting
Did
one?
you, what do you want to do about those two?
So we had these last 2 resolutions. This is regarding the New York Bridge Program. Is Eric still here, or did he fall asleep?
He's there.
Yeah, he's hiding behind Ellen now. Yeah, so it's the Bridge New York Grant Program. We were notified last month that we were due to award finally. Now, this is year 3 of this project. Not gonna get into it. Year 3 of this project, trying to move forward for a tiny little bridge on a tiny little dead-end road. It's now gonna cost us $1.2 million. And they said we were due to award the contract finally for construction to begin this spring. They then called us prior to the meeting last month and said, hold off, we don't think we need to do that, we can do that next month. We waited all month. The highway secretary and I have been watching the emails, and we get little notes here, and hey, did you do, no, they never got back in touch with us to tell us what the resolution was. So with that, we were supposed to award a contract tonight. I have no information on this whatsoever. I know who the bidder is, I know what the price is, but there's a specific resolution that the DOT requires that you pass in order to adopt the contract. Then we were required to do a special meeting at the end of March to do a notice to proceed, which would then allow the contractor to move forward with the contract. We've received nothing. So I'm proposing that we still set the special meeting for March 23rd if we get no further word from DOT. I mean, these things are on tight timeframes from what Eric and I understood, and they just are dropping the ball, and this is what's going on in the entire Bridge New York program. Eric, what'd you say you could fix that? You could have fixed that bridge?
Probably would have cost 500, 600,000.
500 or
God.
600,000. We could have bonded some of that and taken some from the highway fund and done it in-house. But we went with a grant program to save money for the taxpayers, and it's now gonna cost us, what, 150-something thousand is our portion?
Well, they gave us 950,000, so the rest is ours.
Well, it's an 85-15 split or something like that.
Yeah, but their award to us was 950, we're responsible for
Yeah.
it. But I got a grant, an assistant grant from DEP, or from the Shandaken
Yeah.
Street Management Program for 240. So it's still gonna cost us over 100,000.
So anyway, the program's a headache. So with that, we were waiting for resolutions to come in, and we're just gonna set for the special meeting on March 23rd at 1 PM in the afternoon. If we need be, we have time, we can change it to another time or date, but I just,
And the reason for a special project, DOT?
For a special
Bridge
yeah.
New York program, New York,
We may have another issue to deal with that day too, so,
okay.
and I'll talk to the board about that.
So are we just gonna do a motion?
Just do a motion to set up this meeting date, special meeting date.
One second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, so that takes that over. All right, it's resolutions, right?
I'll start.
Yep.
Resolution 5921, Department Audit and Control Town Town Board to sign and inspect all vouchers coming into the town for payment, to number and total amounts from each fund. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board authorize following vouchers paid. From general, $894,825.04. From highway, $149,865.94. Phoenicia Water, $3,103.22. Pine Hill Water, $89.65. Phoenicia Lights, $1,191.38. Chichester Lights, $171.34. Pine Hill Lights, $655.46 for a grand total of $1,049,902.02. And I move it's adopted.
Second.
Board Member Disclefani?
Yes.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Resolution 6021, resolution adopting the Town of Shandaken Police Reform and Reinvention Plan. Whereas under Executive Order Number 203 issued by New York State Governor Andrew M. Cuomo on June 12, 2020, all local municipalities with law enforcement services were required to create a police reform and reinvention collaborative to create, adopt, and submit a, quote, plan to the New York State Division of Budget no later than April 1st, 2021. And whereas the Town of Shandaken Town Board, which operates the Town of Shandaken Police Department, adopted Resolution Number 83-20, establishing the Town of Shandaken Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative consisting of the following members: Liz Potter, Chair; Charles Perez, Vice Chair; Manuela Jean Priere; Wendy Lockwood; Police Commissioner William J. McGrath; Josh Brown; Saeed Shahzad Adil Shah; Officer Tom Sharon; Michelle Spark; Police Chief Chad Story; Board Member Kevin Van Blarkum; and Crystal Way. And whereas following several public meetings, the collaborative has established a draft police reform and reinvention plan, the quote plan, They submitted it to the public comment in January 2021 and for the town board review and public hearing. And whereas the town board, having reviewed the plan and having held the public hearing on the plan on Monday, March 1st, 2021 at 6:45 p.m. and hearing all comments regarding the plan, therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Shandaken does hereby adopt and ratify the town of Shandaken Police Reform and Reinvention Plan, and that a copy of this resolution, the plan certification form, and plan to be submitted to the New York State Division of Budget no later than April 1st, 2021, and move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member DeSclafani?
Yeah.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Storm?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes. Resolution 6120, resolution approving gravel crushing bid. Whereas the Town of Shandaken Highway Department advertised for bids for crushing of item 4 at the town-owned gravel bank following the town board meeting on February 1st, 2021. And whereas bids were received at the town clerk's office, Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 Route 28, P.O. Box 67, Shandaken, New York, 12480, no later than 3 p.m. on Monday, March 1st, 2021, with bids to be opened at the town board meeting on the same date at 7 p.m. Bids received are...
Okay, the first one, we received 3, Seward, Sand, and Gravel from Oneonta, New York. Option 1, 3/4 inch minus 7,000 tons, $15 per ton. Option 2, 1 inch minus 7,000 tons, $10 per ton. And second one is from Clark in Delhi, New York. Bid number 1, 3/4 inch minus 7,000 tons, $5.95 per ton. Bid number 2, 1 inch minus 7,000 tons at $5.85 per ton. And the third one is from New York Crushing and Recycling, Ulster, New York. One is, okay. One impact crusher, $4.25 per ton. One excavator and operator, $1.50 per ton. One 80-foot material stacker, 50 cents per ton. Total per ton price, $6.25 per ton. Mobilization and demobilization will be a fee of $1,500. If water is not supplied by owner, 4,000-gallon water truck for dust control, 50 cents a ton. Does that make sense to you?
Yep. It's not, yeah. It's the wrong thing.
Yeah.
All right. It sounds like it's Clark.
Yep.
Clark at $5.95 and $5.85 per ton.
So therefore be resolved, the Town of Shandaken Town Board approve the bid from Clark of Delhi, New York, and will furnish a closed-circuit plant, fuel, and manpower to run the plant and loader, and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member DeSclafani?
Yeah.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Resolution 62-21. Shane Collins. Whereas under Section 20 of the town law, the town board shall designate all appointed officers and employees of the town, Shane Collins, at $12.
Driver, part-time driver, Shane Collins at $12.50.
Part-time driver at $12.50 per hour. Therefore, be it resolved that the following personnel be appointed to the Shandaken Town Ambulance at the following rates, $12.50 an hour. And I move its adoption.
Board Member DeSclafani?
Yeah.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Resolution 6321, flood analysis project in Pine Hill. Whereas the town of Shandaken is subject to flooding that can damage property, close roads, disrupt traffic, and present a public health and safety hazard. Therefore, be it resolved, the town board hereby authorize the supervisor to secure funding and perform actions necessary to coordinate a local flood analysis project by a qualified engineer for the hamlet of Pine Hill. I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member DeSclafani?
Yep.
Board Member Steen?
Yes.
Board Member Storm?
Yes.
Board Member Van Blarkum?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes. And for those of you in Pine Hill, that does not mean that there is a physical project on the ground. It just means they're going to study the flood analysis. Part of it actually is infrastructure analysis is included in the grant application that we're putting forward. We've gotten these grants, we shouldn't have any problem getting it again. But to do a flood analysis in Pine Hill and see what projects may be feasible within Pine Hill to help reduce the flooding, especially down at bottom Main Street, and some other infrastructure issues we're having up in Pine Hill currently with flooding. So, again, Birch Creek Road is in bad shape.
Oh, yeah.
So we got several other places up there, so.
Would that help with the Main Street initiative in Pine Hill?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. So, with that, we'll open public comment. No public here.
They can.
Okay.
They don't care.
So, with that, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
I make that motion.
All, second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
You snuck these in on
What
the
about
bottom on
those
me.
two other
I saw, yeah.
There's two people.
I'm sorry, we're closing in memory of Luisa Armani and Giuseppe Mania. Entertain a motion to close. Second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Have a good night, guys. No, I'm saying goodbye to them.
Huh?
I was saying goodbye to them. I'm going down to town.
All right, later, buddy. All right, good luck, heal up.